What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Snobs Showcase. It is Friday night. We are live. We're here on the Snobs YouTube channel. So make sure if you're jumping in, give us some likes, subscribe, and hit the notifications button because that's how you're going to know what's going on everywhere. I'm excited. This is an experiment for me. This is something new. I wanted to try something like a talk show, but also a hangout where I can talk to interesting people, musicians, artists, everything in between. So I am so excited to try this out, and I'm very excited that my two guests are here tonight to join me because I think they're awesome. I can't wait to talk to them some more about what they have going on and maybe play some games, maybe talk about some fun movie stuff. You know, let's just have a good time. It's Friday night. There's no point in getting crazy. Let's just enjoy it. Let's be breezy, if you will. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first guest, Mr. Matt Anderson. Now, Matt Anderson is one of the guys from the Key 13 Films group, and I've been honored to interview them in the past on the Snobs interview show, and we have him back out now. He's going to talk about a few things going on. I'm really excited to see what's going on with him. He's got his new season 3 of Terribly Awful out, which is a great show. If you guys haven't checked it out, he's got some movies coming out, lots of projects they've been working on. So I'm going to bring Matt on now. So there we go. All right. Matt,
Hello.
what's going on, buddy?
Good. How you doing, bud?
How's everything today? Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Here we go. There's my video.
All right.
All right.
Hey, buddy. I'm so happy to have you on, man. I was just talking about it. I've interviewed you in the past with the other guys from Key 13, and you guys always have some exciting stuff going on. Season 3 of Terribly Awful premiered, and I am super excited to hear more about that. But I wanted to, I know you have some stuff you want to promote. If you want to talk about it a little bit, I definitely want to hear it. Little technical difficulties with that today. You still there, buddy?
Oh, we're live now. Yikes. Okay. And here I am putting away my garbage. All right. Hold.
There you go. All right.
All right. All right. If for some reason I drop off, I will run over to my phone and I will rejoin as soon as possible. So
perfect. All right, man. No worries. Hey, that's what this is all about. Anything can happen on Friday night, and the showcase is no different. So, but I am glad you're here. Now, I know you have a fundraiser that you wanted to talk about. And
Yeah. So I have an actor. His name is Jeremy Amos. He goes by the name of Ogre. But he was one of the hoodies. He was hoodie number 1 in our movie Hoodie. And hold on, I'm just pulling up his information here real quick, just to make sure that I tell everything correctly. All right. Okay. Well, I'll just open up the thing real quick. All right. So anyway, so Jeremy is in kind of a spot. He is one of the millions out there who works full time, but doesn't make enough to afford private insurance. So, but since he does work full time, he makes too much to qualify for state insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever. So he's got about $5,000 in medical bills that he's going to have to try to pay. He got flesh-eating bacteria, of all things. And so, they had to do surgery, and he's in recovery. But, of course, while he's in recovery, he can't work because of the stuff that's involved in the recovery. So I know you said you've got the link in the description. But if you can't find it for some reason, you can go over to our Key 13 Film Partners page, and you will find a link to the GoFundMe page. He's about 1/5 of the way there, but that's still not anywhere near close to getting it ready. So anything that anybody can do to help him out, even if it's just $5, every little bit helps. And it's going to a guy who really just he loves to work. He's worked on so many other projects. He's actually Kilroy the Clown in Remnants, that's produced by Mark Byrne and or directed by Mark Byrne and Matt Byrne, who was one of the producers on that. So, he's been around. Plus, he and his brother run Amos FX, which are an awesome special effects house in the area. And he also works his regular job. So, I mean, he wants to work. He's a hard worker. It's just unfortunately, just on top of everything else that's gone crazy, he had to get probably one of the things that most people didn't even think still was a problem. So,
yeah.
So anyway, so if you can go to his GoFundMe page and donate just whatever you can. I know times are tough, but it's for a good cause. So.
Absolutely. And the link is in the description. So make sure you guys go and help out. Like you said, anything you can, it goes a long way. And also I will be posting everything on all the links and everything on the Scene Snobs social media later after the show. And you can go check out Key 13 Films over on Facebook or their website, and everything's on there as well. So yeah, Matt, I am super excited to hear, because last we talked when I was interviewing for the show, we talked about upcoming projects, and one of those was Liar.
Yes.
And
yes.
Now you guys are like full force. Am I correct?
Yeah, actually, we are actually, our first rehearsal is tomorrow. As a matter of fact, we're doing rehearsals this weekend, and it's not quite a read through because of the fact that it's only one person has the dialogue, the other person is reacting. So it's more of kind of like blocking and like a stage production. And this Liar is in many ways very much like a play. So it's going to kind of have that feel to it, but it's going to still be cinematic. So we're kind of going through the motions. We're practicing. We want to make sure so that when we actually put the cameras on and we actually film, everyone is 100% ready to go. We actually have cast both roles. The role of brother will be played by Christopher Enlow, who is been in many different projects on the local area, and his new project Ithaca that's coming out, it's promising to be a pretty big, impressive deal. It's just from what I've heard and just from the stuff I've seen, I'm definitely going to be one of the people watching it. So we are very lucky to have him. And then we've got ourselves a really impressive new talent in the area. Her name is Emily Whitcomb, and she was just recently now released on Amazon Prime, Darkness Waits, which is the sequel to Dead Woman's Hollow. And our own Charles Dawson, who is with us over at Key 13 Film Partners, was in Darkness Waits, and they actually worked together. So it's kind of like, it was great when she came in for the audition. He already knew who she was, and he had actually recommended her to us because of her performance in Darkness Waits. So Emily is playing the role of sister. We are incredibly lucky to have such talented people. There were a lot of talented people who auditioned, and I thank them all. And just because they didn't get in this one, we definitely have a list of people that we want to work with. And so that, for other projects, and we've got a lot coming out that are in development right now. But right now we have Liar, which is going to be rehearsals for the next 2 months, and then we're filming in August.
Nice.
And then the next is then the next project that we got is the Elementals comic book project. Yeah. And it's actually it's our first foray into voice acting. So, but we have a huge pool of talent. We have oh my gosh, I mean, the list is huge. We have Chris Ridings, we have Carly Fenner, We have Amanda Lepore Coiler. I think I just butchered her name. I apologize, Amanda. Ilya. Oh gosh, I'm worrying about butchering these folks' names. Ilya Schroeder, and then Bob Singer, who was who played Zuckerman in Hoodie. William Powell plays General Richter. Yasmin Quidda, who's was in Shriek Show. Rick Germain, who's been in so many films I've lost track, and he's also our sound engineer. He's got a great studio up in Ryerstown. Highly, if anybody out there who makes films needs a good recording place, his is the place. Trying to think who else. I mean, it's just a huge cast.
Yeah, you got
lots of moving parts, but it's going to be pretty awesome. And Mariella Butler, I knew I was going to. She plays one of the characters, shapeshifter, real awful character, but she does it beautifully. Everybody does a great job, and we're actually recording next month in the studio at Rick Germain's studio, and then after that we have just started production on Terribly Awful season 3. For those of you who don't know what it is, and probably most people don't, but we're trying to change that, is a show where we look at the worst movies. You people will say, oh yeah, Sharknado was awful. No, Sharknado was fun. There are far, far more awful movies than that. And so we cover them all. And if you go to our website, www.key13film.com, and click on series, you'll see Terribly Awful season 1 and 2. Go there, check it out. We are going to be offering sponsorship of episodes. So if anybody out there wants to sponsor an episode, they've got a movie they want to produce, or a web podcast that they do, or a show they want to do, we will be accepting those, and we'll give you a nice, very visible plug in the middle of the episode, or at the beginning of the episode. Just depends on here. We'll be putting out information on how the promotions will come out and all that stuff here in a before the show airs, which will be in October. We won't air the show until every episode is in the can, or at least 2/3 of them are.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right. I'm very excited too. I don't know if I can say a certain someone who may be on the show or not.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. You guys invited me to be on this season, and I am super excited. I cannot wait. And guys, if you're not watching Terribly Awful, then that is Terribly Awful. Excuse the pun, but I had to do it. It is a great show. And actually, because we're talking about Terribly Awful, I want to bring on my next guest. She is the Princess of Darkness. She is the hostess with the mostest. I have to say that because I love it. So I'm going to bring on Sasha Munro. Sasha, let me admit you on here. So, because we're going to get into some fun stuff, talking about movies, things that are going on, and it's great to get both of your perspectives on things. Lots of stuff going on in the movie world. Surprising, everything shut down. We got some.
There she is.
Hey, Sasha.
Connecting. Come on, Sasha. Breakthrough.
There we are. It's coming.
Hey! Hi, Sasha.
Welcome to the show. Oh, your audio's still connecting. You're almost there. Yes, there we go. Welcome.
Hey!
We're talking about Terribly Awful, and if there's one person I know who knows more movie knowledge, especially about movies you may not have ever heard of, it is the Princess of Darkness, Sasha Munro.
Well, first I got to start, since we were talking about Terribly Awful. Matt, you still owe me something.
What?
I love when we start shows on.
Howard the Duck.
Oh, God. No. Yes, I do. We will work it. It's just our schedules have both been. My schedule definitely has been ridiculous with this COVID stuff. So
it's Doug boobs. You can make time.
I hate Howard the Duck. God, I hate that movie so much.
But that's even more reason to watch it.
Exactly.
I guess if I survive through the Vulture's Eye and watching a vampire pee on somebody, I guess I can make it through Duck Tits.
Oh, I can find some worse stuff for you if you'd like. It's possible.
No. Oh, season 3 of Terribly Awful. Oh my goodness. We do have some great ones, but we got some.
Well, before we get started on some titles, because I do want to talk to you all about everything, but I want to promote, and we have to promote Sasha and everybody. Make sure you go check out. Again, all the links are down below in the description. I want go subscribe and like. Sasha, the Princess of Darkness page on Facebook is up there, and your YouTube, and you're on PSN Network, right?
Yep, PlayStation Network. Just look for. It's part of my dead name, but came out in one now. Okay,
perfect. Yes, check that out. And also, we have a link to your foundation, You Belong, up in Franklin County, correct? So, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
You Belong is something that when I came to Franklin County, found that stuff was lacking when it came to the LGBTQ community. We're still stuck in the 50s. It's that bad. And people who do want to promote for us, they're only looking for profits. As a result, I kind of started an organization, kind of grassroots, where I was like, hey, you have issues, come to me. I'll find resources in your area. We'll figure it out. And if I don't know the answer, we'll run it together.
All right, perfect. And I love that. And again, there's going to be links, and I'm going to put them up on the Scene Snobs Facebook and all the other social media. So go out, support, show, donate, like for Jeremy. And can you take donations for You Belong as well?
Currently, I just try to keep it grassroots, because the moment you start taking funding in, you deal with all kinds of nasty issues and rules and regulations. And I'd like to be above that.
That's fair.
Where I don't have to, answer to a sponsor. I don't have to answer to another organization who's paying me. So no, I'd rather be independent.
Perfect. Okay. Well, but still go out and show your support, because it's very important. But I have you guys on the show, and I need to talk to you about. I've been thinking about questions all day. And Sasha, especially for you, because when we were doing, I think it was Tremors.
Yes.
You were a vast amount of knowledge for that movie. That you said things I didn't even know, and I was supposed to be the one supplying some of the information. I was like, thank God you and another friend of mine who worked on a TV show, Mel, were just like, you were the ones everybody was following at that point. But I want to talk not bad movies. I think we all like the movies that aren't that favorable. But I want to hear both of you, like especially with Terribly Awful, what's some really considered bad movies that you guys love?
Matt?
Give me something, because I need those recommendations. I need to sit down and have a marathon.
Well, I like to watch Rituals with Hal Hollowbrook in it. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just not as well known. Deals with a bunch of guys going camping in the middle of the woods, and they're ambushed by these World War II vets that had surgeons really fuck up their surgeries. And as a result, they start hunting these doctors that are not related to them in the woods. And it's so brutal, and it's so beyond what Deliverance and everything else gave us, because there's this whole scene where they got to travel across a river, and of course these hillbillies have got traps in the middle of the river, bear traps. And I'm like, oh, I love this. It was Saw and Deliverance before Saw and Deliverance was a thing.
Ooh. All right, I've never even heard of that, and I love Hal Hollowbrook.
Yep.
I just watched him in Dirty Harry, the second one, with Magnum Force. But what do you got from
what was it? Humanoids from the Deep. I love that movie too.
That is a good one. I love that one.
Yes.
They did not a riff tracks, but Mystery Science Theater 3000 for that, and it was gold.
Well, I think they just had to license all the Shout movies, and that's why they did it.
Oh, nice! Really?
Yeah, because like a lot of them were on the Shout collections that are available at the Shout!.com. So
Shout has been doing amazing things
for
movies, just kind of resurfacing with everything on Blu-ray. What you got for me, Matt? I need some recommendations.
All right. Well, I'm actually pulling up. Yeah, it's because I got so many of them, and you know, the definition of a bad movie is really always seems to be in the eye of the beholder. Like for me, I love Outland with Sean Connery.
Nice.
And a lot of people think it's a bad movie, but it's not really a bad movie. It's actually a very good movie. So it's kind of like some of the movies that I really, really like that really remind me that I have fond memories of, you can't find. That's the problem. There's like this movie called This House Possessed. It was made in the 80s. It was back when ABC was making like horror films left and right. And it's got Parker Stevenson and Alicia. Oh gosh, I never can pronounce her name. She was in Leviathan. She was the one that got.
Oh yeah, I know that movie.
Yeah. And
I love
anyway,
Leviathan.
so This House Possessed is just this house that is sentient, but they never really explain why. It's not like Demon Seed where it's like controlled by a computer. So there's that. There's Don't Go to Sleep, which had Valerie Harper in it, and produced by Aaron Spelling of all people.
Did he get his daughter in it?
What?
Did he get his daughter in it?
No, surprisingly not. No, I think she wasn't even born at the time. But it's got Valerie Harper, and it's this really weird. Again, it's this ABC horror film, and it's got a great twist ending and all this stuff. And then there's another movie called Midnight Offerings. And it's got Melissa Sue Anderson from Little House on the Prairie, and she plays a witch. And I love that. First of all, I've had a crush on Melissa Sue Anderson ever since I realized that I liked girls. I knew I liked Melissa Sue Anderson. She was hot, even on Little House on the Prairie, which was not. Yeah, but when she was in Midnight Offerings, and she was mean and bitchy, and she had this cool hair and all this stuff, I was just like, yeah, I'm in love. It was right around the time. Actually, I think it came out after Wonder Woman with Linda Carter and all that. But so for me, the movies I like really bad movies, but a lot of them are these like made for TV movies, and good luck on finding them. Sometimes you might be able to find them bootlegged or bargain bin, dollar store DVDs. But if you want to talk about my favorite bad movie of all time, it's probably going to be Equinox from 1970. It was originally a student film that they decided to throw a few extra bucks into. It's hilarious. It's campy. It's got Herb Tarlick from WKRP in it. Going by the name of Frank Bowers instead of Frank Bonner, which I'm kind of glad. I kind of wish he stuck with Bowers, but whatever. It's just Satan's love drool. There's a scene where the guy who's supposed to be the devil gets ready to drop spit down this girl's mouth when he's busy feeling her up in the middle of the woods. It's totally ridiculous. The guy just looks creepy beyond creep. And it's absolutely hilarious. So
awesome.
So that's probably my favorite bad movie is Equinox. I will watch that movie a billion times and never get bored with it.
Well, I want to change gears a little bit here because there's a lot of stuff coming out, and I want to get your opinions on them. So, one, I went to the drive-in last night. Well, the last couple of weeks I've been going to the drive-in, and Sasha, you and I talked about it a little bit earlier with the drive-in.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all fans of the drive-in and what it's produced over the years. But it's such a beautiful thing with everything going on that we have a place to go, and they're showing classics. I went and saw Jaws and Jurassic Park last night, and it was a good time. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I've never seen Jaws on the big screen before, so that was a big deal for me. With everything going forward, I've heard things about Evil Dead. I've heard things about Empire Strikes Back, Ghostbusters. What would you like to see right now with being the summer of the drive-in? What would you like to see on the big screen. And well, at the drive-in, I should say.
Well, Mahoning up in upstate PA has been knocking it out of the park. Like anything I can think of, they've already done. They even showed Hardware and Death Machine back to back, and that's just
yes.
for me is just awesome. And then they had a whole night of marathons where they've been showing drive-in movies all night long. You stay somewhere and you come back the next night and the next night and just have a wild marathon based on a theme. And Mahoning has been blowing away my expectations.
Yeah, and I love their weekend. Yeah, like you said, their weekend themes. They just did Superman too. Like they did all 4 Superman movies, right? And
yep, and the Ninja Turtles. They did all the Ninja Turtle movies once, and they had James Rolfe come up, the angry video game nerd, and he was up there talking about the games and the Turtles, and I'm like, yes, this is awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. Matt,
even Mr. Lobo hosts up there.
And it's not that far. I think it's only like 2 hours away from us in Virginia, so that's really not bad for a weekend trip to go see some awesome movies.
Yeah, the best times is, like I said, when Mr. Lobo shows up and just shows some random crap to watch. It's great.
Well, I know down here, the Family Drive-In next Wednesday and Thursday are showing Count Dracula versus Frankenstein and Brain of Blood. So that's going to be exciting to see. But Matt, what do you, with the drive-in and everything going on, what would you love to see? What are some movies you'd love to see the big?
I would love to see the original Mad Max, regardless of Mel Gibson's stupidity. I still love that movie. I still watch it. I have it on Blu-ray. I have the special edition that came out from MGM. I missed seeing Mad Max in the theater by a couple of years. I got to see Road Warrior or Mad Max 2, but I never have gotten to see the original Mad Max in the theater.
I never had a double with Mad Max and Road Warrior, because when I lived down in Oklahoma, they did. And this is when I was.
I've never seen Mad Max on the big screen. I would love to. So you know that for me, Mad Max, and then Death Race 2000. Again, I never got to see that in the big screen. I would love to see just that. If you can't notice, there's a little bit of a theme there. I love car movies, and I love futuristic car movies. So, you know, if somebody actually made a movie that, you know, featured a futuristic car, either post-apocalyptic or like anything, I'll watch it. And so for me, it would be, it'd be those two. Those two I definitely would want to see on the big screen. Because you know, I miss seeing them on the big screen. So yeah, that if any drive-through ever said, yeah, we're showing Death Race 2000, provided it wasn't like millions of miles away, I would probably drive up there. Same thing with Mad Max, Road Warrior, even
Damnation
Mad Max
Alley.
3.
Did you ever see that one, Matt? Damnation Alley.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. That one too. I'd definitely be cool with that one. But for me, more so Death Race 2000 or Mad Max.
What about Wormwood? Have you seen that yet?
Which one?
Road of the Dead. Wormwood.
No.
Zombies and Mad Max themes.
It's
a
newer one too.
Yeah.
Yep. Good.
I will check that out because I have not heard of that. Well, I've heard of it. I just didn't know that it was a car movie. So.
Yeah, well, it's a road trip type movie, but yeah, they have a lot of chases and things in it.
Yeah,
like zombie-powered cars.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes. It's very cool how they do that whole thing too. So if you haven't seen it, and it's a WYRM, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out of Australia, so it's a really cool zombie film. I think they did it. I don't know whether it was Shudder or they did do a series, right?
Yeah, it's only in Australia though for the moment. I haven't found it anywhere else.
Okay. But I only saw the movie. I didn't see the series either. But I had heard you should definitely check out the movie beforehand. Now it's very cool.
I will definitely have to go check that out because a good car movie. Good car movie, not quite in the same, but a lot of people don't know about Highwaymen.
Which one's Highwaymen?
It's got Jim Caviezel, who was in Person of Interest, and Colin Farrar, who is this guy who basically is in Rona Mitra. So you can already tell where this is going to go. And Colin Farrar is fused to his car. He's actually like a paraplegic or something like that. So the car, he is the car, but it's not like, he like merges. He's like all connected and he twitches his muscle and certain things done. It's a bonkers movie, but that stuff also one that I think would be kind of fun to watch on the drive-through. Definitely a drive-through movie.
It's got to be better than The Wraith.
Oh, come on. The Wraith is great. I love The Wraith.
Dead guy. What was his car powered by? Jesus Christ?
I don't know what it is about that movie, though, that I just, every time I see it pop up somewhere, I have to watch it. Charlie Sheen running around.
What about Cherry 2000 or 3000 or whatever it was called?
Yeah, Cherry 2000.
Yep.
Where they're looking for like a replacement sex doll for that one guy?
Yeah.
It's I gotta tell you, like I do wish that the drive-in, as much as it's cool to bring back all these classics, but I do like what you said, Mahonging, right? Is what it's called?
Mahoning, yeah.
Mahoning, yeah. They are. I see them pop up on Facebook and stuff, and they're doing a lot of very cool stuff. I even think they did a Mad Max. Showed all the movies in one weekend where everybody dressed.
Lobo was there. Mr. Lobo showed up for it in a costume.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, they were all like, everybody was in costume, like it was
I wish I'd known about that. Unfortunately, I'm somewhat housebound because I'm still working full time and going to school. So it's just my free time, and then working on Liar and all the other Key 13 stuff. So my free time pretty much is like, if it's not working on something Key 13, it's spending time with my son. If it's not spending time with my son, it's working. And if it's not working, it's school. I have not watched a movie all the way through in like weeks.
Well, if it comes down to it, we'll get a screen and a projector and just come down to your house and make it happen.
Actually, we'll go down to Craig's house, because he's got the big open field, and we can put in one of those inflatable view screens.
Oh, that would work.
Yeah.
Very cool. Does he have a pool? Can we watch Jaws there?
Yeah, so the little floaty things like they do down in Texas.
Oh, I wish. No pool. But my pool, unfortunately, is in dire need of repair. I'm actually saving up money to fill it in. So
I get that. I've done that before myself. But so some big news. I don't know how you feel about superhero movies, but some big news in the superhero front.
Big game sucked. That's all I gotta say.
Michael Keaton may be coming back to play Batman.
That I'm okay with. Michael Keaton was Batman.
Right, I agree. But
Michelle Pfeiffer was Catwoman, because she's also coming back too.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't catch that? Yeah, she's been offered to come back too.
I would love it if she came back. But I want to create a debate. And I'm going to give each of you a character. Thinking of a number between 1 and 10, whoever gets the closest. Sasha?
5.
Matt?
7.
Oh, it was 7. Okay. All right. So you get to choose first. Batman or Superman? Christopher Reeve Batman, or Christopher Reeve Superman, or Michael Keaton Batman?
Ooh. Which one I like better, or which one I hate more?
Which one do you want to represent in this debate?
Oh, which one do I want to represent? I'll go with Christopher Reeve.
The big blue Boy Scout. Oh.
All right. I think this is going to work out well. So I'm going to give you each a minute, and you want you to tell me who is a better representation, which actor was a better representation of their character, and why.
Michael Keaton brought the darkness, quite honestly, because you're dealing with somebody, unlike Superman, yes, you got launched into space, he was an orphan. This was a person who had to deal with the grief of his parents dying right in front of him. Michael Keaton kind of brought that darkness with him, kind of represented that, and kind of really embodied the character of Batman. Yes, I'm rich, but yes, I'm, bitter and broken inside, and I kind of dug that.
All right. That's an awesome answer.
It's a good answer. It's a very good answer.
But what do you say, man, about Mr. Christopher Reeve as Superman?
Well, I think that Christopher Reeve was the right choice. I still remember George Reeves as Superman, and he just he was a little old and a little chubby. But Christopher Reeve, the tagline was so cheesy. You'll believe that a man can fly. Well, I could believe that he could fly. And in the first movie, and as much as it's maligned, the second movie, he really, for me, was Superman. He was my favorite Superman. I've yet to see a Superman that has come close to my love for Christopher Reeve Superman. Now, Superman 3, Superman 4, oh dear Lord.
Was 3 the one with the computer?
Yes, 3, and Richard Pryor and Robert Vaughn. And 4 was the one that was done by Canon Films,
Canon was epic.
Which was epically awful. But the first 2, and I have not seen the Donner cut. So
that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I've heard that too. So it's based upon my knowledge is based upon the first 2 movies, the original cut. I liked Christopher Reeve because he embodied for me Superman, and he actually would change so much when he went from Clark Kent to Superman that you actually could, for that, at least for those 2 movies, you could believe that the glasses could mask who he really was. And, because he added in the bumblingness and the naivete and, Lois, the nervous energy where Superman's all confidence and smooth and calm and chill.
Was it that they said in Kill Bill about Superman? What was it that they said in Kill Bill about Superman, if you recall?
Oh, gosh.
Making fun of humanity.
Very fair. I got to say, these are both really good arguments, and they both are. My thing is, if I'm going to choose one that's a better representation, Matt, I really like what you were saying about, like, Christopher Reeve embodied not just who Superman was, he did embody also who Clark Kent was. And that is a great representation, but I kind of got to give it to Michael Keaton. The biggest reason why is because before that point, nobody wanted him. Everybody said he was going to be terrible. He's a comedic.
Mr. Mom can't be Batman.
Exactly. Yeah. So for him to step in, and you're right, Sasha, for him to embody the darkness that nobody was expecting. I think Batman ekes this one out just by a little bit because it is hard. Christopher Reeve is Superman. You're right.
But to kind of counter my argument, you got to remember, though, when Batman was first introduced, he wasn't a dark character, despite being an orphan, despite all this stuff. More often than not, for artwork in DC Comics, you'd see Batman smiling. How often do you see that nowadays?
Yes, never, unless he's hanging somebody up from upside down over a building.
Yeah,
I think Frank Miller for all of that.
Yeah, I think Batman's Bruce Wayne smiled more in Batman Beyond than he ever did in the animated series.
Maybe this Michael Keaton being reintroduced is leading to a Batman Beyond movie. I would watch that.
Oh yeah, I've got every Batman Beyond episode, including all the times when he cameoed in Justice League and Static Shock. I've got all those episodes.
Did you see the uncut Batman Beyond movie?
I have both versions. Cut.
Oh, those are great.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I would love to see that. I am hearing, because Ben Affleck's not coming back, that part of the rumor is that he may be the crux that kind of brings the Justice League back together. So they can, if Henry Cavill doesn't come back for some reason, they can introduce somebody new and introduce the multiverse. So that would be cool.
Rourke was a pretty good actor for Superman from Superman Returns. Granted, yes, the movie was kind of crummy, but he was pretty much a good representation of Superman.
I agree. He's busy over on Legends of Tomorrow. So, honestly, I honestly don't really care for another big motion picture Superman movie or anything. I'm actually enjoying what they've been doing on Supergirl and the CW. I'm actually enjoying that universe far more than I enjoy the DC cinematic universe. And I think it's just because they've got more episodes, but I mean, watching the Supergirl's development, and I'm not a big fan of Legends of Tomorrow. I thought the first season was kind of stupid.
John fucking Constantine.
Yeah, but yeah, when they brought in Constantine, and when he showed up in Arrow, and
I'm still mad at NBC. I wanted to watch several series.
Yeah, the series was great. So, but I really enjoy what they've been doing on television for the Justice League and all that, more so than I did. I mean, I watched the Justice League movie. My son wanted to go see it. I watched it. It was okay, but it just wasn't as enjoyable for me as the stuff on television. You know, when Arrow was Arrow and that, and I haven't had a chance to see the new Batwoman series, although I'm kind of glad I did, because now she's being replaced.
Yeah.
The Ruby Rose quit, and I'm just that was kind of disappointing, but like I said, I still have more fun with the TV DC universe. And if you haven't seen it, the new animated Harley Quinn that on DC universe, the show is hilarious. It is just, it's just this beautiful fusion of campiness and violence and language and adult situations. Kaylee Cuoco from Big Bang Theory is Harley. I didn't think anybody could do as good a job as Andrea Romano, or even Melissa Rauch, who was Bernadette on Big Bang Theory. She did it in the Batman and Harley Quinn movie. But Kaylee Cuoco does it. Lake Bell plays Poison Ivy, and in my opinion, the best Poison Ivy ever. Just exactly the way that I always thought. Alan Tudyk, who does he does the voice of the Joker, and then there's an actor, and I forget, he's a voice actor primarily. He does this character called Kite Man, and it's just Kite Man is just a total and utter dork, and he's still probably a great guy. He's still a great guy. And there's Ron Fuchs, who plays King Shark, and
nice. That's a good choice.
Jason Alexander is in it. I forgot what his Psy. He plays Psy Borgman.
Awesome.
And trying to think who else is in it. But I mean, there's got a lot of names, good names, but it's a lot of fun. It's campy and serious, and it's action-packed and violent and over the top. It's everything that the Suicide Squad movie could have been, but didn't quite make it.
All right. Well, I'll definitely check that
out. To me, the best Harley Quinn was always Arlene Sorkin. Like, she was the one who developed that character. There is no replacing it for Arlene Sorkin.
It's tough to think of anybody but Arlene Sorkin in it, and I misspoke. I thought Andrea Romano was the voice director, but yeah, Arlene Sorkin was she created the character, because the character didn't exist until the animated series created her. So and now she has become such a key part of the DC universe. But yeah, she definitely did it. I mean, even when she did her little cameo in Return of the Joker as Nana Harley, so that was the bar, and the bar was set. And but I like that Kaylee Cuoco isn't trying to do Arlene's Sorkin. She's doing
her thing.
She's doing her version of it, and that's what I like about it. She's not just trying. All the others, even Melissa Rush, kind of try to emulate that. She's doing her own version of it, and I like that a little bit better. And she's not even aping the Margot Robbie version from Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad. So that's part of the reason why I really like the way that it's being done.
Nice. I'll definitely check that out. That was a great recommendation for it. Thank you. I did ask you both what your favorite horror franchise is, and there was a reason for that. So
I'll let Sasha go on that one.
We're doing we're doing our debates, and
let me be frank though. When it comes to franchises, Name a franchise where you liked all the sequels. It's hard to find one. Sequels and prequels.
Define like a watchability. Like I'll rewatch them over and over again. Like them.
No, like that you liked every last one as well as you liked the first.
Oh no, I can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, not as much as the first.
Not when it comes to franchises, it's hard to pick one. That's why I was kind of like, well, this one, no, this one.
Yeah.
But the problem of it is like, think of it this way. Granted, yes, Alien was lucky because it had James Cameron as the follow-up. Mm-hmm. He was raised in the school of Roger Corman, where he knew how to take a dime and make it look like $1 million. But most sequels, from a studio aspect, granted, yes, the first movie has a ton of money behind it. The sequels are lucky to have half the budget of the first movie.
Yeah.
And that's where I have a hard time with it, because the franchises I listed, I like all the films in those series.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can tell you the Friday the 13th series, I can rewatch all of them. Those are, and Nightmare on Elm Street, I can go back and rewatch all of them. Now, I'm not saying that they're as good as the first one. Exactly. The first one's not my favorite in the Friday the 13th series. The sixth one is. I just love the camp factor of everything.
To quote Ian Malcolm from the Lost World novel, he states that sequelae are inherently inferior, and he wasn't wrong.
That's true. No, I agree. But I do have to ask now, Matt. Halloween is your favorite franchise, correct?
Correct.
Now, it's Friday night. We're not doing this, let's say. Let's go into imagination land. And I'm picking out a binge-worthy marathon. I want you both to fight for your respective franchises and tell me why I should watch your favorites.
All right, so I'm going to go with Candyman on this one because it actually has 2 good movies out of the 3 far, and a 4th one on the way. It's going to be a shorter watch period, and you're going to enjoy the first 2. Third one kind of ekes by. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just kind of in the middle. But I think as a character, because at least with that as a horror character, like, for example, Michael Myers is not redeemable. Candyman was somebody that was killed and murdered for loving somebody loved. And hence he's coming back to get his revenge. He's at least redeemable. He's got that redeemable character trait to him, much like Dracula or any of the other original horror tropes that you can think of. There's a redeemable quality to him. And why he's doing what he's doing.
I will tell you, there is an unspoken rule on every one of my shows, Sasha. You've already said it twice. You cannot exceed 4 times.
What'd I say?
You know what you said.
What? I don't know what I said.
You can't say it 5 times. You can only say it 4 on my show.
Okay.
Because I'm not taking
I think I'll have to rewatch.
Not taking any chances with these. But okay, so that's great. I mean, I do love that. And now I'm saying it, Candyman, so that's 3. But Matt, why should I watch Halloween? Or you can pick another franchise if you want. But
yeah. Oh, no. I'm sticking with Halloween because you got to understand, I will watch all the Halloweens, even the bad ones. And the reason why is because a lot of people say, oh, well, no, you know, there's the first one and the second one, and then it skips to H2O and ignores the other ones, and then this and then that and that and that. Okay. They're all in some way connected except for the third one. And that's because the third one takes place in a different place. And I actually was one of the, I'm not. There's a group, I actually belong to 2 groups, Matt, mind you, that love Halloween 3. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to put that one aside because we're going to deal with the original thing. So you could argue that they all are within the same time period except for the 2 Rob Zombie ones. And the reason why is because there's like little hints here and there. But I loved the first one because the first one, that was my first horror film. So for me, Halloween will always be, that's the first movie that ever made me nervous.
Did you see it in theaters or on TV?
Oh, I saw it on TV.
Okay, did you watch the extended cut, which added the stuff in about his sister, or did you watch the actual original cut?
The version that I saw was the extended cut, the one with the scenes of him at the mental hospital.
And his sister.
Yeah. So, when I saw that, and then of course I saw it on VHS and then later DVD and all that. But I still have that love for that one, and of course it also introduced me to John Carpenter. Mm-hmm. So my love for John Carpenter was born for that one. So that's part of the reason why I have such a fondness. But Halloween 2, I enjoyed. Halloween 3, I loved, even though everyone was complaining about it wasn't a Halloween movie. That's okay. It didn't have to be. And I kind of wish they would have made all the other movies at some points. I kind of wish they all would have been anthologies, or different stories. But when 4 came out and I watched it, I loved 4, and I thought 4 was great. And then when 5 starts right where 4 left off, and they kill off the girl that survived, the final girl, they kill her off at the beginning of the 5th movie, and then the way that the 5th movie ended was just so freaking weird. And then the 6th brought it up, and again, I was like a lot of people. I kind of wish that Danielle Harris had been the voice of, or come back to play her character, even though she got killed in the Thresher. And I've seen both the original Halloween 6 and the director's or the producer, the re-edit one and all that stuff. And
what do you prefer on that? I get mixed.
They're both. I like the extended, the re-edited one, just because it gives a little bit better plot than the first one, than the original cut. But the original cut also really brought us Paul Rudd, playing Tommy. So and then he did Clueless. Clueless came out pretty soon after that, or before it. I'm not sure, but I saw them in different orders. I saw Halloween 6 first, and then I saw Clueless, and I was like, "Hey, that's the guy from Halloween." But anyways, I digress. So then then it went over to 6 kind of like ended it, and then they came up with H2O and Resurrection, which is, in my opinion, the worst out of all of them.
I was going to say defend that one.
Yeah, that one I can't defend. It's awful. It's stupid, but I still watched it. Just as hell. I mean, I'll be honest. It's because Tyra Banks dies in it. Yay.
You don't like Busta Rhymes running around like Sonny Chiba?
Oh God, Buster! Don't even get me started on that.
Busta's line at the end was the best, though. I got to admit.
Yeah. But and then the Rob Zombie ones, a lot of people, it's very divisive. I saw the theatrical version, the one where Michael escapes when he's being transferred, and I prefer that one than the extended director's cut, where they basically bring the girl into his room and rape her. I didn't see the point of that. I much preferred when Sybil Danning was there and she her and he kills Danny Trejo and all that stuff. I thought that one was the better, because I liked that it got into the psychology of Michael. That even though that and they had the Curse of Thorn and all that, the in the first 6 movies. Okay, I got that. But I like the fact that he did take a different take, and he did look at the psychology of it. And then the second one was an interesting take on it. And then I just recently saw the new Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. The one
H4O.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed that one. I honestly, the minute I saw Danny McBride on the title, I was like, oh God, this is going to be stupid, and it's going to be campy.
Prometheus wasn't his fault, or Covenant rather, whichever the one he was in.
I remember about a year before that movie came out, he was on, I think, the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show, and I wanted to listen to it because I was excited to hear about a new Halloween movie, and I like him. But he came on and he was basically saying, I know you know who I am, but really don't worry about that. Like, we're going to do Halloween justice.
Yeah. I mean, Eastbound and Down, that's what I was expecting. him in Tropic Thunder. You know, let's put some Tiger Balm on these jungle's nuts. Jesus. So when he did that, I was just like, oh God, no, Danny. But then of course Jordan Peele and Get Out came out, and you realize that, as I've always said, the key to comedy and horror is timing. It's always about timing. So I was willing to give it a shot, and then when I heard Jamie Lee Curtis just talking about how great it was, and Jamie Lee Curtis is not necessarily known for, you know, oh yeah, it was great. I mean, she died in Halloween Resurrection because she was done with it. Yeah. She was done. She thought it had run its course, and the fact that she came back to it, this was after she'd done Scream Queens, which I just hated that show. Ugh. But so the reason why
good on it though, she was good on it.
She was good on it, but the girl, Chanel, Chantal, whatever the hell. Oh God, her voice just I wanted to kill her. I wanted to actually find a way to go into the TV and kill her. But again, I'm digressing here. The reason why you should watch the Halloween films is because they are in this weird kind of somewhat nebulous universe. They are always entertaining. You know what you're going to expect. They throw in enough plot twists to kind of keep you going, I got to come back. And of course, Halloween 3 has Happy Halloween from Silver Shamrock theme song, which is the best annoying earworm you will ever hear from a horror film. No other horror film has ever come up with anything as catchy. And I'm even talking about the Halloween thing. The Have a Happy Halloween song in Halloween 3 is there. And I loved Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is my favorite out of all of them, surprisingly. Just because it was so different, and the witches and the science fiction element and the robots, it's got its issues. They all got their issues. There's plot holes in Halloween 3 that you can drive Stonehenge through. But you got Tom Atkins, always awesome. You've got Stacey Nelkin, hot as hell, and you've got dang it, his name I just went up on his name. The guy that played Colonel Cochran.
He's in RoboCop.
Right.
Yeah.
The old man and what the heck is his name? Oh, it's driving me. I can't believe. All right, I gotta look this up. Dan O'Harleigh. How can I forget that name? Dan O'Harleigh as Colonel Cochran. I mean, he just chews that scenery just beautifully, especially when he just looks. Oh, and Happy Halloween. Still sends chills down my spine. So that's why you should watch it. It's fun. It's got twists. It's interesting. The third is this weird thing, but it's still awesome. Sorry, I went on.
Continuity out the window.
I gotta give you. I think I gotta give it to Halloween on this one, mostly because I do agree with Halloween 3. But that leads me into my next question, and this is not really a debate. I just want to see where your heads are at. There are 3, let's call them the triumvirate of horror, mainstream horror, and 3 franchises that are probably bigger than life, and that is Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Halloween. And each one have a movie that kind of goes off on its own thing. And that would be in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Halloween 3, and Friday the 13th, Part 5.
You forgot New Nightmare.
New Nightmare does, but New Nightmare still it brings back Heather. It's more meta, but whereas Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is like completely, like, you can tell they wanted to go in a completely different direction. And I also love the fact that it's a cult classic, in my opinion. I think I can go back and revisit all 3 of these movies.
If you're talking plot-wise, okay. But you want to talk about going way the hell out there? Jason 10.
Jason in space.
Jason in space. Halloween never did Michael Myers in space. Okay?
They were copying Leprechaun.
Yeah. Yeah. And Leprechaun should never have gone into space either. But seriously, if you want to talk about a movie that just goes completely out there, literally, is Jason 10. Now, I don't disagree that story-wise, the ones that you cited, Nightmare 2 and Friday the 13th 5, definitely 5, right? Yeah. Definitely took some different directions, but all in all, I still think Jason 10 is just...
Well, for me, the reason I choose those three is because, yes, you still have Freddy in number 2, but it's really not all three of those movies and their franchises aren't about the killer, really. Freddy is basically just set decoration, like that whole movie is, it's just so genius. And I just watched Scream Queen, which you made me think about documentary when you said Scream Queens, which is a completely different thing.
Oh yeah.
But if you haven't watched the documentary about Nightmare on Elm Street 2 yet, you should definitely check it out. And I remember when it was in college, I think, so this is about 13 years ago or so, and I did not like Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I had only seen it once, and I was a kid, and I was like, I don't get it. It's not the same. I don't understand it. And then I get to college, and I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to a friend of mine, and he looks at me and he goes, yeah, but you have to understand, the main character's gay. And I'm like, okay. So I went back and I rewatched it, and then it made sense to me. So the story made, but I was revisiting it after probably 15 years. So I also got to look at it from an adult's point of view as well. And the subtext in that movie is very clear when you're an adult and you understand. And I really enjoyed that about it. It added many layers to it, which other movies in that franchise don't have. And other movies in most franchises don't have. So that's why I really appreciated that one. And I love Halloween 3 because it is so out there. Again, as a kid, hated it. No Michael Myers, forget it. Went and watched it as an adult, and I'm like, this movie is awesome, Part 5 of Friday the 13th, you get Miguel Nunez, who's awesome, and the enchiladas, but that's about it. But if you guys love it, you tell me. I want to know what your favorite out of those three are. Not a debate, just like I'd like to throw that out there because they're very different movies that don't get talked about a lot.
Well, I mean, Halloween 3 for me. I mean, for obvious, I've already gone into that, so this is going to be on Sasha.
Well, for me, when it comes down to it, it was one of the ones you didn't mention, and Rob kind of brought it up in the comments a second ago. And I love Jason Goes to Hell because a lot of people think it's a very different departure, and it is because he's hopping from body to body to body. What a lot of people know about that film was it was supposed to be Ash versus Jason Voorhees, not Jason Goes to Hell. And you can see little glimpses of it because they show the Necronomicon in there, they show the Kandarian dagger, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. No, and all right, I did not know that. I've always heard mention, I knew they were trying to write Freddy versus Jason for like 10 or 12 years. And that's why they added the glove in the end more as a joke at the time, but hopefully to get them together. But I did not know that it was supposed to be Ash versus Jason. Yes. What happened there that it fell apart?
Well, it was just interesting because they were trying to get the rights. Bruce Campbell, he doesn't want to do another Evil Dead movie, pretty much the same thing back then. Where I was like, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not going to do that. And getting Sam Raimi involved was hard. And it was interesting because if you really pay close attention to Nightmare on Elm Street, there's clips, Nancy watching the first Evil Dead. Watch Evil Dead 2, Freddy's glove shows up several times.
There was I had heard, I'm not sure if this is true. You might know, Sasha or Matt. There was kind of a fun fight between Wes Craven and Sam Raimi in their movies. Like they would maybe do like a ripped poster here or, show it on TV there. But I think it was Wes Craven, I forget the movie, who killed off Ted Raimi. And that was kind of his goad to get Sam Raimi, and Sam Raimi could not figure it out. He was like, well, he called him up and he's like, did you see what I did? And then he could not figure it out. And then finally he saw it and he's like, you killed off my brother. Damn it. So I've always loved that little story. I
think it's interesting. It seemed more like two filmmakers winking at each other. Like, hey, I saw what you did in your movie. Here's your glove. And it just kept showing up, kind of like, hey, I admire what you're doing. You admire what I'm doing. It was less of a, how can I put it best? Less of a frenemy thing and more of just friends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No, I always took that was my takeaway, and I love that. I wish now that you tell me that what we could have had with Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, I've read the comic books. Should have gotten them together. That would have been amazing. Have Ash taking out Freddy.
Well, explains how Jason keeps coming back. He's a Deadite.
Yeah. Well, that is canon, correct?
Yes, it is now.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, we need to get that movie in order. I still want it with Bruce Campbell with his COVID beard. It just looks awesome.
With his daddy beard, let's just put it that way.
And he'll call it that.
Yeah, now that Ash versus Evil Dead is done, he's freed up, and I was kind of hoping that he was going to show up in the new Evil. They're going to make more new Evil Dead movies, because I really liked the one that came out with Janet Leigh in it, and and I will admit I let out a fanboy squeal when he showed up after the credits and they had the audio recording, and he turns around and he just goes groovy, and I was like, wait, come on, tell me he's going to come back, tell me he's coming back.
Well, it was supposed to be more extended than that, Matt. In fact, They actually shot scenes with the survivor of the end of that Evil Dead remake walking to a truck driver and getting to the cab, and it's Bruce Campbell.
Oh, nice. That would have been great. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on, both of you coming on, and this has been a really fun conversation. I mean, I hope you both had fun and consider coming back on the show. I know this is kind of an experiment. I'm still trying to get everything down, but thank you both, for coming on, and make sure everybody check out your links. You are working on, Sasha, you're working on right now a full review of the entire Predator series, correct?
Yes, but unfortunately, something came in the mail, and it's kind of keeping me from doing anything.
Fair.
Very many happy tears that way. Let's put it that way.
I am very much looking forward to that review, though. I can't wait to hear it. Are you going to do it in podcast format, or are you going to do it in video?
No, I'm going to do video reviews as I normally do. Go back to my normal format. I just had to take a break, crazy stuff at work, and just life in general. But now I quit, and I've got more free time, so yay, bonus. And once I can put Last of Us down, I will definitely be on to that. One of the biggest things I want to point out, everybody, is to watch this to kind of tease you for the Predator reviews. Keep in mind, the original voice of the Predator was Optimus freaking Prime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It wasn't. It was Jean-Claude Van Damme played the original Predator for a couple of days, correct? Yeah.
He kept passing out and falling, just completely blacking out in the suit, and they're like, "No, we can't do this." And they called Stan Winston on the phone. He was on a flight, and he was like, "Well, I always want to make a creature with mandibles," and that's how the Genesis came to be.
Nice. That's awesome. So that's I can't wait to check out more from the Predator and watch your videos. So make sure everybody you're going and you're following, subscribing, liking, and everything on Sasha, the Prince of Darkness channel.
Well, as I say, like, comment, and obey.
Which one? What was that?
Like, comment, and obey. If you play Borderlands, you'll catch the reference.
Very cool. I got to admit, I'm not very much a video gamer. I wish I was, but my stepson is. He teaches me everything.
There is cinematic games. You will like them, Nick. I promise. Pick up Uncharted. Pick up Last of Us. You'll love it. I
do appreciate them. Ever since I started this, I have no time to play anything. Because I saw you talking about Spider-Man, and I picked that up, and I was enjoying that, playing that through. And I just kind of got stuck and working on other stuff, and I have not.
Play more cinematic stuff. No, not the open world stuff, but like Last of Us. I think you would really get into it. It's, as a parent, it's going to really kick you in the you-know-where.
Oh, all right. I don't know if I need that right now. But I will check out The Last of Us because I've heard great things about it. And Matt, thank you for joining. Everybody, make sure you're checking out Key 13 Films, Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, her channel. You guys, please come back on the show again. I would love to have you, especially with this talk. This is a lot of fun. Horror and maybe sci-fi next time.
I'll kidnap you for my show. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think of the topic, I'll throw you on with all the rest of my crazy cohorts, and we'll have fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm in. I can't wait for Terribly Awful. That's going to be great.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to having you come up to the studio here in Frederick and do your episode. And yeah, if you decide to do science fiction, that's more my forte than horror. If you ever decide to do one on Asian cinema,
Ooh.
I'm your Huckleberry.
All
Hey,
right.
Matt, what about a Wild Zero crossover?
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's a good film.
That is a good film.
I have not seen Wild Zero, so I have more to check out. I have so many recommendations that I had to write down.
Oh, well, I tell you, if you need an Asian cinema primer to do an Asian cinema primer episode, have me on. I will flood you with Asian cinema, Japan, China, Korea, you name it. I'll cover movies, TV shows. Believe me, you will have an education. I could teach classes on this one.
Well, perhaps that's going to happen.
They did show anime on their show once, so it's a possibility.
Oh well, that's my other expertise is anime. So let's just say if you need an expert on anime, Asian cinema, and science fiction, you got me.
All right, awesome. Now it's good to know, though, because I am not an expert in any of that, but I am interested. I'm always interested in whatever I can learn. So I'm definitely down for that. And I just appreciate you both coming on the show. This is a lot of fun. Make sure everybody go out, check out the Princess of Darkness channel. Check out Key 13 Films and Terribly Awful. Support You Belong. All the links are below. Support Jeremy. He needs help, and anything you can give, that would be fantastic. And check out at the Scene Snob pretty much on everywhere. I'm going to put all these links up there too as well. So thank you for joining in. This is our first. You are both the first guests on the first Friday night showcase.
Woo! Popped your cherry.
And this was a fun Friday night hangout for me, and I can't wait to do more. So until next time, everybody, you take care, and